Welcome to the African Experience, a channel dedicated to exploring the rich history, legends, leaders, and culture of Africa. Join us as we delve into the fascinating stories of African legends and the impact they had on shaping our world as you immerse yourself in the vibrant and diverse cultures that make Africa one of the most culturally rich continents in the world. This is the African Experience. He was born in the town of Nkrumah in the southwestern corner of the British colony of the Gold Coast. He was an excellent student in local Catholic missionary schools who, as a teenager, became an untrained elementary school teacher in the nearby town of Half Assaini. In 1930, at Akimota College in Accra, the capital of the Gold Coast, Nkrumah earned a teacher's certificate and taught at several Catholic elementary schools. In 1939 he graduated from Lincoln University with degrees in economics and sociology, earned a theology degree from the Lincoln Theological Seminary in 1942, and received degrees in education and philosophy from the University of Pennsylvania in 1942 and 1943. While studying in the United States, Nkrumah was influenced by the socialist writings of German political philosopher Karl Marx, German political economist Friedrich Engels, then Russian revolutionary leader Vladimir Lenin. He formed an African students' organization and became a popular speaker, advocating the liberation of Africa from European colonialism. He formed an African students' organization and became a popular speaker, advocating the liberation of Africa from European colonialism. He also promoted Pan-Africanism, a movement for cooperation between all people of African descent and for the political union of an independent Africa. In 1945 he went to London to study economics and law. That year he helped organize the 5th Pan-African Congress in Manchester with Black American sociologist and writer Du Bois, future President of Kenya Jomo Kenyatta, and American actor and activist Paul Robeson. In 1946 Nkrumah left his academic studies to become Secretary General of the West African National Secretariat. That same year, Nkrumah became Vice President of the West African Students' Union, a pro-independence organization of younger, more politically aggressive African students studying in Britain. Nkrumah returned to the Gold Coast in 1947 when the United Gold Coast Convention, UGCC, a nationalist party, invited him to serve as its Secretary General. He gave speeches all over the colony to rally support for the UGCC and for independence. In 1948, Nkrumah and several other UGCC leaders were arrested by British colonial authorities and briefly imprisoned. After setting up a series of colony-wide strikes in favor of independence that nearly brought the colony's economy to a standstill, Nkrumah was again imprisoned for subversion in 1950. However, the strikes had convinced the British authorities to move the colony toward independence. In 1951 Nkrumah, while still in prison, won the Central Accra seat by a landslide. The British governor of the Gold Coast released Nkrumah from prison and appointed him leader of government business. The following year he named him Prime Minister. Re-elected in 1954 and 1956, Nkrumah guided the Gold Coast to independence in 1957 under the name Ghana, after an ancient West African empire. Nkrumah built a strong central government and attempted to unify the country politically and to master all its resources for rapid economic development. As a proponent of Pan-Africanism, he sought the liberation of the entire continent from colonial rule, offered generous assistance to other African nationalists, and initially pursued a policy of non-alignment with the United States and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, USSR. His goal was never realized, but his efforts helped bring about the Organization of African Unity, which promotes peace and cooperation between African nations. Between 1961 and 1966 Nkrumah put together an ambitious and very expensive hydroelectric project on the Volta River that, though highly successful, was laced with economic mismanagement along with several other developmental schemes over the period. Nkrumah did not hesitate to use strong-arm methods in implementing his domestic programs. He remained popular with the masses, yet his tactics made enemies among civil servants, judges, intellectuals, and army officers. While Nkrumah was visiting China in 1966, his government was overthrown in an army coup. Nkrumah lived in exile in Guinea, where Guinean President Seko appointed him honorary co-president of Guinea. He died in 1972 in Romania while receiving treatment for throat cancer. Kwame Nkrumah's remains were returned to Ghana for burial in his hometown. Achievements. Kwame Nkrumah was the first president of Ghana who served from 1957 to 1966. He is considered as one of the most influential leaders of Africa who played a vital role in shaping the political landscape of the continent. Throughout his life, he was dedicated to the cause of African independence and to the building of a united Africa. One of his major achievements was the independence of Ghana, which he led in 1957. This was a significant milestone in the history of Africa, as it was the first African country to gain independence from colonial rule. Nkrumah's efforts to gain independence were a turning point in the history of Africa and inspired other African countries to fight for their own independence. Another major achievement of Nkrumah was the creation of the Organization of African Unity. This organization aimed to promote unity and cooperation among African countries and to end the colonization of Africa. The OAU played a vital role in the decolonization of Africa and the building of a stronger African identity. Nkrumah was also a strong advocate for Pan-Africanism, which is the belief in the unity of African people. He believed that Africa should come together as one to tackle the challenges facing the continent, including poverty, disease, and political instability. He encouraged African countries to work together and to form a united front in the fight against colonialism. In terms of economic development, Nkrumah implemented several policies aimed at improving the lives of Ghanaians. He introduced the concept of industrialization, which was aimed at transforming the country from an agricultural-based economy to a modern industrial economy. He also established several industries, including the Volta River Authority, which was responsible for the production of hydroelectric power. In conclusion, Kwame Nkrumah was a visionary leader who dedicated his life to the cause of African independence and the building of a united Africa. His achievements, including the independence of Ghana, the creation of the Organization of African Unity, and his advocacy for Pan-Africanism, have left a lasting legacy on the continent and continue to inspire future generations of African leaders. That is it for today, guys. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to never miss a video from us. We hope you enjoyed this African story and we can't wait to share more with you. Until next time, keep exploring the rich and diverse culture of Africa. Bye.